welcome to today's episode of Pirate News. I'm Rony Jerez.
And I'm Emily Feazel. On today's broadcast, we will be bringing you news from around campus and across the country.
We'll also bring you your Seton Hall sports update and your 5-day weather forecast.
This month, the Bronson Speech and Debate team will host a showcase of their events that they will be advancing to a national conference in April. The showcase features original speeches and performative literature based in advocacy. Last year at the national tournament, Bronson placed 14th in the country for their competitive speech program and hopes to continue their success at a national level this year. The showcase takes place Wednesday, March 25th at 7 p.m. in Nursing 113. Contact Brian Summerow at brian.summerow@gmail.com for more information.
Seton Hall released a statement regarding the coronavirus outbreak. In the statement, the university said Seton Hall University is monitoring the latest news and information regarding the coronavirus that emerged in Wuhan, China, and spread to many locations around the world, including New Jersey. There have been no confirmed or suspected cases of coronavirus among members of Seton Hall campus community, and the university is operating normally. Any changes to Seton Hall's operating status will be distributed widely through multiple communication channels. Seton Hall urges students and staff to practice effective measures to prevent the spread of the virus by thoroughly washing hands with soap and water while also avoiding touching one's eyes, nose, mouth, and face. The university also states that if you are off campus, stay home. Contact your medical provider over the phone. If you are on campus, call campus health services immediately. And if you are diagnosed with coronavirus, Seton Hall asks if you self-quarantine.
This Thursday, March 12th, is National Pancake Day. Already number one for Christmas spirit, Seton Hall may be looking to gain some extra holiday traditions. Join the Student Activity Board from noon to 4 this Thursday for a pancake party featuring pancake art from Dan Cakes, a St. Louis-based food art company. Contact Allison Sotolongo at allison.sotolongo@shu.edu for more information and check out Dan Cakes on Facebook.
On Friday, March 27th, a Joseph A. Uwane Latino Institute will host the Ella Triunfa, Women in the Workplace panel in collaboration with Women in Business and Adelante. The panel will feature distinguished women in diverse fields as they share their experiences in the workplace and the message of empowerment. The panel will be followed by roundtable discussions with each panelist where students will have opportunity to better connect with the guests. Registration will start at 9:45 a.m. and pre-registration will be required through Eventbrite. The panel will be followed by a roundtable discussion at a complimentary lunch will be provided in Bethany Hall. Contact Ana Campoverde at ana.campoverde@student.shu.edu for more information.
Now we'll head over to Brady O'Malley with your Seton Hall sports update. Brady?
Thanks, Emily. And hello, Pirate sports fans. I'm Brady O'Malley, and I'll be catching you up to speed on the biggest sports news to come to the Hall over break. Big East Islanders went out recently, and for Seton Hall men's basketball, we have Romero Gill for Defensive Player of the Year and Most Improved, and Miles Powell as a member of the All-Big East First Team. This marks the end of a prolific season for the team, which hopefully means we'll go far during tournament season. Speaking of the men's basketball team, they suffered 2 tough losses over the spring break to end the season. Last Wednesday, Pirates lost to Nova with a close defeat of 79-77. They then went on to lose to Creighton 77-60, causing a 3-way tie for first place in the conference. Now we look ahead to the Big East tournament with the Hall facing off against Marquette on March 12th. Baseball began their season with a 3-game series over USC over break. The first was on the 28th and ended in a win with a final score of 6-3, while the other 2 ended in losses with scores of 10-1 and 3-0. To end their California adventure, they took on Fresno State Tuesday with a 5-4 loss and St. Mary's twice with a 6-1 win and a 6-2 loss. That's all for your Pirates sports update. Now back to Ronnie and Emily with news from the tri-state area.
Thank you, Brady. Prince University announced on Monday plans to start mandatory virtual instruction later this month and encourage students to stay home following the spring break. As part of a plan to prevent the spread of coronavirus, University President Christopher L. Eisberger said that statement, "We are creating, supporting, and mandating alternative ways of meeting our academic and other pragmatic requirements in ways consistent with social distancing. This will include a mandatory temporary move of all lectures, seminars, and precepts to virtual instruction starting on Monday, March 23rd. Eisberger encouraged students to consider staying home after spring break, saying we will make sure that they are able to meet their academic requirements remotely.
CBS reported yesterday that the number of people infected with COVID-19 or coronavirus in New York State is now sitting at 142. New Jersey currently has 11 confirmed cases of the virus. However, The Atlantic urges people to not panic. COVID-19 has resulted in widespread panic because of easy access to misinformation in media. In reality, the virus has an approximately 3% worldwide mortality rate, not including mild undocumented cases. For additional accurate statistics and simple precautions you can take, visit the World Health Organization's website.
Now we'll go to Ben Harris with your 5-day weather forecast for the South Orange area. Ben?
Thanks, Ronnie, and hello, Pirates. I'm Ben Harris here with your 5-day weather forecast to have you covered through the week in the South Orange area. Today, we're looking at cloudy skies with a high of 63 and a low of 44. Tomorrow, expect temperatures to take a slight dip to a high of 56 with a low of 37. Then on Thursday, it's going to be more of the same, staying partly cloudy with a high of 57 and a low of 46 degrees. As for Friday, showers are expected, and there's an 80% chance of precipitation, and a high of 66 and a low of 38. Lastly, on Saturday, you're going to start your weekend with a high of 54 degrees and a low of 35 degrees, and that's going to wrap up your 5-day weather forecast. I'm Ben Harris, and now it's time to send it back to Ronnie and Emily with the latest news from around the country.
Thanks, Ben. An EasyJet flight from Manchester, UK to Alicante in Spain was forced to return to its stand twice because of rowdy behavior by passengers. 2 separate groups of passengers were involved in Thursday's incidents, according to a statement from EasyJet, which linked the delay to the consumption of alcohol. We are aware that some passengers are drinking their own alcohol on board and prior to the flight in the terminal. The airline said police met with the aircraft to remove the passengers before it continued to the Alicante. Flight Easy 1919 eventually landed in Spain more than 3.5 hours behind schedule.
Last year, Texas A&M student Kyle Cox was trapped for 30 minutes in a snowstorm when the handicap lift malfunctioned and trapped his wheelchair. Now, Kyle is leading a national conversation on accessibility for disabled students on college campuses. This July marks 30 years since the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed, but disabled students are speaking up, saying we need more. NBC News reached out to disabled activists from colleges including University of Michigan and Princeton, who cited lack of accommodations for the reason only 1/3 of students with disabilities complete their degrees within 4 years. On how students and faculty can start, Cox says the focus should be on making people feel more included, not just about helping them get by.
That'll do it for today's episode of Pirate News. I'm Rony Jerez.
And I'm Emily Feazel. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.